This is how we run it in the backwoods, boys.
Ought to ride just like that. These things right here can be a bitch to get in when this thing's already swelled out like that. You can see that right there. If this ever goes down and hits the bottom and closes off, that right there is our safety valve to keep us from exploding right there. Just gotta get it worked down in there. Your liquor's gonna come in on this side and go all the way down to the bottom. You can run a dry thump keg or you can run a wet thump keg. Dry, you just run it just like what it is. Run it wet, you can pour backings in it or whatever you want to put in there, unless you're making a brandy.
What would you put backings in there for?
To get more alcohol out of it from your last run. You can't really do nothing with that, so what you do is you just reclaim the liquor from it. So some people do that.
We've run a Carolina High Country still. That's all they're so predictable. You get your outcome is it can be reproducible over and over again with good results with that still. Is it better than any other still? Well, I don't know, but I know it's good for us, and our customers are proving it. I mean, they tend to like the product that comes out of there.
The reason why we had to drive the truck down here is we got a lot of stuff to carry, and the road's pretty rough and wet. There's a chance you could get stuck and have to carry everything, but it's a risk you gotta take. If the road's rough, it's harder for somebody else if they wanted to drive down it. They ain't gonna drive a car down it. You'd have to have a four-wheel drive vehicle, and a lot of people don't want to take a chance on getting stuck or ruining their vehicle, but that's all part of doing this. You gotta take the risk. That's part of the reason why I like doing it. It's a little bit of adrenaline going a little bit, but if you get stuck, you're just stuck. You'd have to go get somebody to help you, but it's a lot of stuff you have to bring down here, so. We picked this spot because it's way off the road. There ain't nobody around. You can't hear no cars or nothing. It's secluded. We've got a water source. We've got a lot of treetop coverage down here, and it's a good spot. We got our still site over here. It's not too far away from our water. We can run our water to our flake stand and have everything we need right here. You'd have to travel a long ways in here to find us.
Moonshine to me is something that is made illegal in the woods, mostly out of corn, but it can be made out of fruit of any kind. Technically, that's what it is, but to me, the real moonshine is corn made in the woods illegally.
To me, when somebody asks me what I think of moonshine is, what I think of is quality. A lot of people think it's corn liquor or something that, it's been run through a radiator or something, but me, moonshine means quality, because if you don't have a good quality product, then either you're not taking your time with it or you're lacking in something. And to me, the quality of our product when we make it means everything to me. To me, that's what moonshine means to me, is quality.
Tyler, go cut the pump on.
Explain why you would use a pump out here.
Well, what we do, because of the elevation of where we're at, you get you some car batteries, and you get you a 12-volt pump, and you can get all the water you want in the world. You just bury you some black hose. Right here where we're working, we just use a garden hose right here. I mean, it's what we didn't have enough length. It's what happened, so we extended it the rest of the way with a green one, and it worked out. But yeah, you got to have this cool, and the water going in here, it's coming out of the creek, but the thing is, it can't get into your liquor. It's just for cooling. It's going to come in here, and it's going to run out here. Over there on that side where you ain't got to walk in water all day, you just get it over somewhere so you got a pretty good dry place to work. And that's how we do it. We still got to paste these joints. We got to get this full because we use this water with our oatmeal when we mix and paste our joints before we start running. And we'll have this thing kicked off here in just a few.
Do you ever feel, when you hear airplanes or you hear cars, do you ever feel kind of paranoid, like they're coming at you or something?
Yeah, that's when they stay there. Now we're by an airport, okay? What I look for is them to come in slow and make a curve going that way, and I pretty much well know what that is, and it's going to be a Cessna. That's their training airplane. When whoever's getting their license, they're going to come in, they're going to do the little landing thing, they're going to come back, take off, and they're going to come back in again. But when they sit right up there up above us and go around, well, that's a different damn story right there. That'll tighten your ass up right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
anytime you're out in the woods doing this, and you do hear a vehicle or a plane,
door shut.
or door shut, it does make you think if that's somebody fixing to come in on you or not. So you still gotta listen to everything and keep an ear out for everything that's going on around you. That way, but if they run and get in and get you with this, you're got. So you always got to pay attention to what's going on around you too.
So what, hypothetically speaking, if you heard somebody coming, would you guys just abandon ship or just you're caught?
I don't normally go jogging, but I would say that I'll be bust out into a run, and so he runs faster than I do. I've been saying he's sore out and left me before, but
When I hear somebody coming, I abandon ship.
that's what it is.
Just want to know how it is that Tyler can outrun Mike when he's always barefoot.
I've been in the woods since I was little. Never liked wearing shoes. The only time you'll catch me wearing shoes is at work if I have to go to town with my wife. Most of the time I'm in the woods, I'm barefooted. Bottom of my feet are tough.
To be a moonshiner, if you set up some mash and it gets a vinegar yeast in it and it goes bad, and or it grows a big mushroom, that was a huge ass mushroom that grew in it. So you got to pour that out, and you have the nerve to take money you was going to put on a bill and use that to re-rig that barrel to try it again to get your money back. Well, hell, you're a moonshiner if you can do that. That's the true what a moonshiner will do. You have a mad damn woman on your hands if it goes wrong that second time, I guarantee you. If you marry well, you'll be fine. Which she told me that I did. So I believe her.
I think you said it pretty good.
All right then.
I'm going to take this oatmeal and put it around all our joints, here and around the cap, and anywhere else you think you might have a leak or something, you can put this on there, and with the heat that the steel is making, it'll seal it right up. We like the oatmeal better because it peels off and cleans off better. It don't leave a real nasty sticky stuff on your steel. It's good and sticky while you're mixing it, but after it heats up, it falls right off. You can take and run your hand around it like that, and it just falls all right back off. Just run it around your cap. All you got to do is just get some wedged in there, and when it heats up, it'll seal it. If you get a leak in it, it's not sealed up good. One, you lose an alcohol. Two, you take a chance of making a nice big old boom. Have a nice pretty flame, or you might not be around to see the flame if it blows up. You know, there's a lot of risk in doing this, and if you get a leak, you know, you're taking a liquid and turning it into an explosive vapor.
Yeah, you just get it a little bit thicker here because there's a lot more pressure on it right there. You got the difference between the copper and the wood. That's copper and copper. It kind of rides. On this, you just want to make double sure. And this is a bad place. This ain't as bad as having one over there though. We usually put this on before it gets hot, because if you don't, you put it on when it's hot, it peels off like a tater chip, and it don't hardly stay on there very good. So we do it ahead of time like this.
Yeah, it'll be a while before you'll see if there's any places steam, but after, you know, running your steel over and over again, you kind of learn where, you know, if you're gonna have a leak or where there's already been a leak, where to go ahead and put it. Damn much sometimes you'll be sitting here after your paste is all dried and wonder why you want to eat an oatmeal cookie. It smells like oatmeal cookie.
Sure does. Leave it like that. So if we do get a leak, we'll have some of that mixed before too soon. You'll want to get it fixed. Anywhere from here up, you don't want a leak going down. From here down below, it ain't gonna light off. Your steel beer ain't gonna light off from here down. But once it boils up and comes in here and turns into a vapor, it goes from a flammable liquid to a highly explosive vapor. And that's why we're sealing this off right here. A lot of people run inside their houses. I wouldn't do that. That's my home where my family lives. I'd rather get out here in the woods and take a chance. And, you know, worst thing that could happen out here is you blow a cap. Whole thing's gonna catch on fire. You're gonna want to shut that gas off, and you ain't gonna be able to put this out with that water. It's just gonna burn out and set the woods on fire or whatever, and you're gonna lose everything you got. Because alcohol fire it don't go out. It goes out when it wants to. You just don't put it out with water. So we try to do the best we can and keep a watch on it. Well, at this point in time, when you get it pasted, this don't stay wet and flexible. It's going to dry and it's going to get hard as a woodpecker bill. So when you're around the still at this point in time, you don't bump it, you don't jar it, you just leave it like what it is right there, because it can bust this loose and it will leak vapors out. I mean, you get a vapor leak in here, up here somewhere, or even on this side, you're going to be in a whole heap of trouble. So we always get, after we get it pasted, we get real careful about what we do and how we walk around the still after that. It's a lot safer way to be. Well, once it's up and running and it's pasted, you're probably looking at hour and a half before you get anything out of there. You run your heat up too quick, you can, if you have corn in there with it or little bits and particles, you could scorch it and you'll never get that out of that copper. You'll never get that out of there. It'll just stay in it. So we just bring our temperature up slow. It calms your liquor down. You run it hot, you're gonna get hot liquor. You run it slow and easy, and you're gonna get good liquor. It's a better way to run it. And we don't just judge by what we see, we judge by what people will tell us about it. And you don't ever want to run it fast. If you ain't got time to run, then don't run. Only run whenever you got time to get it right.
So Tyler, in that hour and a half while you're sitting there waiting on that product, you have to listen to him jabber
I
on?
have to listen to Mike go on for an hour. So most of the time I just wander off in the woods and look up and wonder why. Just why. But most of the time we have good conversation. We talk about all kinds of stuff. I've been working with Mike for several years, and I've learned everything I know about this from him. And I couldn't ask for somebody better to teach me. We get along pretty good, but that hour and a half, sometimes it's rough. Well, I remember one story Mike's dad told me about when Mike was younger and in school.
My dad lies.
He told me that, Mike come home from school one day and Mike said the kids were picking on him, said he had a big head, And his daddy says, "No, don't worry about them. But what I need you to do, I need you to go down to the store and get me a gallon of milk, 2 loaves of bread, a carton of eggs, a carton of cigarettes, a bag of apples, and some other stuff." And Mike's dad was telling me, Mike looked up at him and, "Dad, how am I going to carry all this?" And he said, "Well, hell, son, put it in your hat." And there's that one.
All right, here's mine. I can get right to it. When we're running, and I'm sitting there, we're waiting. Sometimes I'll close my eyes for a second. I don't go to sleep at all. I'm listening to everything and all that. And all of a sudden, I will feel a damn pain on one of my damn ears. Okay? It's what he'll do. As I got older, I guess you get these little hairs on your ears sometimes. And if he sees one, he can't stand it. And if I got my damn eyes closed, he'll sneak up there and pull one of them some bitches out. And I mean, it just drives me insane. And he knows it does. And he will do it. And he don't care. I mean, I'm going to nickname you Tweezers or something. I don't know.
Most of the time when we're anywhere, I don't care where we're at, I do it to him because I know it aggravates him.
I'm putting a jar there. When it first starts running, what you're going to want to do is the first stuff that comes out, you don't keep that. That's bad right there. That's what I call voodoo moonshine. You don't want no part of it. So some people say catch a quart, catch a pint, catch however much. We don't go by that. What we go by is when it first starts coming out, it'll have a funny smell. There's a particular smell to the first liquor that comes out. And you'll let it run. You'll catch it in here. You are going to proof it to see what your starting proof is. I mean, but you need to clean your proofer out between that and your keeping liquor. But the smell will change after a certain amount of time. The smell coming out of here will change to a really good liquor smell, and then that's when you want to swap over and what you're going to keep. So we don't go by a quart, a pint. We go by when the smell changes over, let it run a little bit longer, and when it smells like good liquor, you check your starting proof here, and then after that you wang that out in the bushes, and you don't keep none of that. This here is where you keep liquor, and that's for you testing.
Sometimes stuff happens that you can't help. Got to be quick to repair it in doing this.
Solder busted loose at the worst time. Anything and everything can happen on a run.
The adrenaline rush I get, it's not like one of them adrenaline rush you get where you're scared of what's going to happen. It's like an energy boosting adrenaline rush for me. It's exciting to me. It's a lot of people ask me, don't you do the same thing every time you do it? It's pretty close to the same thing, but you get something new from it every time, and just the learning stuff and getting something new from it every time is something that excites me, because I like to learn stuff, and the more I can learn about it, the better I feel about it. And with that adrenaline rush it gives me and the learning thing, it's don't want to use the word wonderful, because that makes me look, it might sound like a sissy, but
Well, yeah.
I learned it from. But it's just to me, it's a great experience and a great feeling to be able to be out there doing something like that. It's exciting. It's
Like today when our runoff hose,
yeah.
we adapted it over vice grips and some black tape.
When
It rode. It
overflow
didn't.
hose broke off, it's in a situation like that, it was not a really major thing other than walking around in mud the rest of the time you was there,
Yeah.
but something's always happening, and you're
Every
always
time.
having to use your brain to come up with something on the spot to
With what you have.
with what you have. And luckily I had some duct tape, and then not duct tape, but the electrical tape, and then pliers or C-locks in my toolbox, so we went back to the truck and got them, was able to fix it easy. And it's just always a cool experience. There's something you take away from it every time you run, and that's what I like about it.
We don't use a coon dick, we use a stick in there, and that liquor will follow that instead of it can run backwards, and you wind up spilling it on the ground. You'll waste a bunch of it, and it can do it before you even know it. Smell of the worm.
Yeah, you can smell it starting to come through. You can always smell this where your liquor comes out, and you can smell it pushing the smell of alcohol through. I love that smell. Man, it's one of the best smelling things in the world. I've tasted lots of other people's liquor before, and some of them I couldn't even manage to put my lips on, and it wasn't good. To me, good liquor, like I said earlier, is in your quality. The quicker you try to run it out and get it through your still, to me, the worser it's going to burn, the worser it's going to taste. And if you take your time and you do it, like Mike was saying earlier, good liquor, you can take 140 proof and it'd be smooth and no burn, and that's good liquor to me.
Just trying to run it on this damn stove is gonna work, but damn if I ain't bringing my damn banjo burner next time. I'll put this sumbitch on the run. I mean, we don't heat it up too fast, but we get it heated up. Then when you start running liquor, then we cut it back.
That banjo burner's bigger covers a bigger area.
Bigger
with heat.
area. You heat it up more evenly. Main thing, you don't want to run one dry, because if you do, it's going to fall apart. It'll melt the solder out of it, and all that, it'll just be laying out there for you. I doubt it'd make a boom, but it won't be good trying to put it all back together out in the middle of the woods like what we are now. We improvised and got our overflow fixed, but hopefully there won't be anything else more happening like that.
We'd seen one time we'd run liquor with a feller and just got a brand new thump keg, and a lot of times for wine they'll put wax on the inside of them. It wasn't supposed to have wax in it, and we drilled it out and everything, had a hole still up ready. Liquor started coming out, and we got noticing little chunks of clear stuff coming out with it, and it ruined our whole run. Everything we had to shut the whole thing down, get a new thumper and everything. And it's, you know, there's a lot of different things that can happen when you're running liquor that you wouldn't expect to happen like that. You know, we ordered a barrel that wasn't supposed to be waxed, but they sent us one that was waxed, and it just ruined our whole run.
I'd say about another 45 minutes.
Yeah. There's one thing about doing this: if you don't make the time and sit down to wait for it, heat it up and push it through, your product won't be as good. And you know, that's part of being greedy. If you want to hurry up and push it through, you'll never get as good a product out of it as you can if you take your time and do it.
If it smells like greed, you'll never succeed.
And one jar of bad product can ruin a whole line of customers. So you want to take your time with it. That way you can get the best product you can out of it.
You can't even touch it no more.
It was here about 4 or 5 months ago. It's the scariest I've ever been. We just got finished making a run, and I had never thought about this, and Mike said he had never thought about it in his lifetime. Just poured our mash out, and me and my wife was sitting on our front porch and had a drone fly in and light up our porch.
Yeah.
It went off. Don't know if it was the government or somebody around here flying a drone.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting there watching it. It come over to Mike's house.
Lit up my front damn yard.
Lit up his front yard. I come hauling back Bud over here at 2:30 in the morning, getting Mike up out of bed. He just went to bed.
Yeah.
Got him up. We was getting it through the woods, putting liquor out in different places. It's probably been the scariest I've ever been, because, you know, like I said, we didn't know if it was government. Didn't know if it was just somebody around here where we lived flying a drone, because there's a bunch of big plantations around here and some of them have drones. But
We hadn't run that to still again until this interview. We have not run since the drones came in at all. That's been a big damper.
yeah, you know, if you're in the woods, helicopter, like you were saying earlier, when you run, you get good treetop coverage, or you can even get up underneath something. But
Yeah.
you know, drone can come right up underneath where you're at, if you're there or if you're not there, and see your whole deal and everything. Where if you're under something and a helicopter flies over, they can look out and see down, but they don't see what's under the building.
We've had that before and just stood still, and they just kept right on keeping on. I mean, if you had a bunch of guys coming over fast roping down on your ass, I mean, you know, you'd know they were going to do it. They'd make a quick turn and they'd catch you. This drone, that's made me rethink how I want to run in the future. I mean, we run today in broad daylight. They were looking for after dark. Well, we just threw a little wrench in their little plan, so we did it in broad daylight. And same good product. The night don't make it taste any better than the day, but we have a plan on how to get around this, and we will be doing that plan very, very soon.
You know, most of the time people run their liquor at night anyways,
Yeah.
so they look for you at night. Or was it somebody? I don't know. It might have been a movie I watched. It was. They were talking about moonshine and stuff. Said at one time you could look up on the hills and the mountain and it looked like Christmas lights.
Little Christmas lights
from where everybody had their stills going. So they look at night for you. So we're gonna switch up what we're doing a little bit
in the spring. Right now, I mean, we're at the end of liquor season now. I mean, for us, when the spring comes and the leaves come back and we get our cover back, we'll go right back at it, just like we always have.
Is that somebody we know?
Is he pulling in here? What?
Yeah, I can't tell.
Let's see if he goes by. This is not the right time. Somebody. He's going to check. What you got? Okay. All right. Ow.
Somebody they going by?
Go out there in the workshop and work on little engines and things like that, and you know, and they fire off and you feel good about it and whatever. But when you run a load of liquor off, or a run of liquor off, you will feel a hell of a lot better than you will when a little bitty motor fires up over what you're seeing in that catch jug. And then when you taste it, you built that. That's little bitty baby newborn liquor right there. And I mean, by God, you'll be proud as hell of it, and more proud of any other kind of hobby you could do.
Right now, we're just catching up a little bit for our amount so we can smell and see when we need to start catching our good liquor. And Mike showed me, or has taught me, how you can tell by the smell of it when you need to start catching your liquor you're going to keep. A lot of people say you catch a quart or a pint or so much and don't put it in with your drinking liquor. But we usually go by smell. Now this is what we was talking about by the stick. You can see it running down the stick and coming to the end. A lot of times if you don't put you something in there, that's the reason why they use a coon pecker, is when it comes out, it'll run back up your worm right here and it'll go out on the ground or something like that. So all the stick does is just let it come out to the end of it and come down. It smells good. You can smell it.
Yeah. You have to let a little bit of that run out of there for a little bit. Might have a high place in the worm. With that stopping and starting. We have to tune that here in a second. But low and slow is the way to go. And it's starting to run now. I don't want it to run no faster than what it was doing a second ago. About like that.
It's acting like there's a high spot in the worm.
That's what it seems.
What does that mean?
Well, your coils ain't even, and it'll build up in a spot, and then it'll let it go. And plus, I got my heat way down too. You get it up to, it'll make your liquor hot whenever you try to run it too fast. We're running it really slow right here. This ought to be just jam up.
That's what we was talking about earlier about the quality of your product. If you're in a hurry and you just push it on through there, it won't be as good as if you took your time. Running it through fast can make your liquor real hot. If you take your time and let it drip out and slower, it'll take some of the hot out of your liquor.
Bet it will. From
We
start to
can
finish,
fill
it
one of these up.
takes about 7 hours. Maybe 9.
Just depends on how long it wants to run.
Yeah.
We ran before and it'll come down at we'll get to like 100, close to 130 proof, and it seems like it'll just hang there
For a long
for
time.
a long time at
It's
130.
unbelievable.
And then after that, it'll steadily start dropping back down.
Yeah, when it hits like 118, it'll start dropping. But I mean, I've seen it just hanging 130 for the longest time, and that's a damn good sight to see. It's got a hot spot in the worm. I ain't gonna fool with that hot spot because after this other thing is tore up on us, all I need to do is bust our worm loose.
Yeah.
I'll wait till after this run is over and I'll look at it and tune that sucker in, because we ain't going all the way back out of here to go get solder. I'm invested in this run, and there just ain't no stopping right now. Sometimes you got to put up with some shit to get where you're going. Well, this run here, it started out at 150, which is pretty good for this kind of still. And
Think we got a leak, Mike?
what you got?
Yeah. Right here in that bad spot.
How bad is it?
It wasn't real bad. I just seen a little bit of a drip. Come over here and cover it up. That's stuff you always want to watch for, because you don't keep an eye on it, then
You can't never get comfortable.
you're going to have a nice boom, like we was saying earlier.
Then we lose it all.
That should take care of that. That should dry it back out quick, and hopefully that'll last us. We'll just keep an eye on it. Make sure everything's still going smooth.
Not yet. It's still got that little bit of. You just have to let it run out.
Go look down here around the still, see if we see any leaks. Always got to check for that. If you see any steam coming out or beads of water or what looks like moisture coming up anywhere, and that's usually where you got a leak.
Don't put that down.
Everything looks good so far. Usually right here is where we had a problem before, so we always keep a check on this. Try to keep oatmeal on it. But everything looks good so far.
Now that smells good. And that tastes pretty damn good too. We're gonna swap these out.
All right.
See, it ain't like a quart or a pint or whatever. It's what it takes.
So you can do this.
Well, why'd you do that?
You can't keep that right there. You just gotta throw that first bit out. You can smell high ethanol in it. You would never want to drink that. You want to run some good liquor. You wait till it smells right. When it smells right, you start keeping. That right there, that's doing pretty damn good. I mean, we should have this run. It's gonna take a while on this. My burner's a little messed up. It's gonna be slow, which is good. So this run here probably wind up better than some others. I mean, you run it that slow, it's bound to be damn good. I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Let's shut her down. We've got almost 5 gallons. We don't ever drink during time when we're running, but when we get done, we damn sure do. That's your celebration. That's your victory lap right there. We're about to take us one. I'm gonna cut this thing.
I
Off.
already turned it off.
Yeah.
I turned it off at the tank.
Okay. All right. Here come the fun part. Oh, can you run and go cut off the pump?
Yeah.
Okay. Let the animals eat.
I unhooked it and unhooked the batteries too.
Bust this right here. We got to do this before we go any further. Okay, now look. You let one of these cool and let that down in there, it'll suck your still in. So you got to make a way for air once you cut it off. You got to get that thing popped out of there pretty damn quick. Then you can start get the rest of it. That smells good. Absolutely.
goes. Oh, it's nice and cold in the bottom.
That don't matter for
See, and I can always rinse my feet off at the end of the day. Want water.
Could have went my liquor. See, there's the problem right there. This came out in the middle of the damn running it. I gotta solder that son of a bitch back on now. Get that thing up. Don't get old, you won't be able to see.
I just gotta get it loaded back up.
Start again another day. You don't want nothing to get up in that, because if it does, and it plugs this son of a bitch up, you're in big trouble. That's one of the first things you check before you hook this up, is to make sure that this is unplugged.
And naturally it'll build pressure up and can make your cap poof.
You blow a cap, and that won't be a good day. Alright, that's ready to go out of here. I'm going to take these to the truck. When we get back, we're going to
I'll
taste
go ahead
what.
and carry this out too.
We're going to taste what we
While
made.
we're carrying stuff, since we got a little bit of a walk back up to the truck.
Alright. I'm heading.
Isn't this the most important part?
Yeah, this is the best. This is the reward at the end of the journey.
Taste?
Yeah, I did some work too. Woo! Woo!
Yeah, that'll put lead in your pencil right there, won't it?
Woo.
Yeah.
That was good.
That'll put chesty hairs on you, belly hairs, and all kinds of other hairs.
We don't proof here.
Okay.
We go out of the woods and then we proof. See, all we worry about here is having cover from the air, not getting caught, running it, then you move to the next step, and that's proofing it. Well, I guess it's time to load out. Call it a day.
Head to the house until next time.
Yep.
When I taste that right there, what I taste is family history, memories, people that ain't here with us no more. Mama, she died last year, and what I taste is history.
I taste newborn baby shine.
Damn it, Tyler, I like the way you talk. I do. I couldn't have said that shit better myself.
I taste liquor. To me, pretty much I have the same idea as what Mike said. It's history. And You know, a lot of people don't know a lot about where it came from and how it's come to today. They just know, like we were saying earlier, the pop culture of it. It's cool and people want it, but they don't know the history of it. And like Mike said, you know, it's been around for a long, long time. And it's just a good quality thing that good old boys like to do.
Started in our family when the daddy looked over and had one youngin' gnawing on another youngin', and he needed to feed him. And corn's 28 cents a bushel in the tub, and he finds out if he turns it into water, he can get 94 cents for it, and that buys a lot of shoes, and it eases your conscience, and it eases your mind, and it makes your life easier. That's all it was. It ain't about greed. It's about having a life and building a life for your family. That's how we see it.
Amen. Out in the woods, just a dodging the law. It's an all for one and a one for all. Liquid gold coming from the steel. That's 140 proof sex appeal. Hey, welcome to the hood. We got stars and bars and mason jars, and the girls are looking mighty good. Hey, welcome to the hood. I don't know what it's like where you call home, but where I'm from, made good in the woods. Made good in the woods. It's made good in the woods. Yeah, it's made good in the woods.